What's up, guys? Welcome back to Nuova 2. Alright, so you're probably wondering, why on earth would I ever talk about Watamote, being pretty bad anime? Alright, also, the goal is to look for a pale forest. I really like pale wood. But, alright, again, yeah, so you're probably wondering, so last time I talked about Watamote. Now it's time to talk about something an anime that's like sort of Watamote, but like done right and is actually good. You know what that's called? Bocchi the Rock. Bocchi the Rock is okay. So first of all, what the hell is Bocchi the Rock? Well, the story centers around the protagonist Bocchi, and or known as Hitori Goto, being a essentially being a high school student similar to Tomoko, who wants to be famous, who wants to be a famous rock star, right? And you're probably wondering, well, how is she any different from Tomoko, and oh yeah, she also has very bad social anxiety, right? And you're wondering, like, how is she any different from, Tomoko? Well, simple. Um, Boshi has actual charm. She has actual talent. So it means that her efforts in, like, being popular actually end up, you know, going well because she actually has the talent to, like, play, the guitar well. Not to mention also actually trying to, like, be more social and stuff. Like, from the beginning to the end of Watamote, you see, oh yeah, you see, like, Tomoko go from, I want to be popular, and being a degenerate, to, I don't want to be popular, and still being a degenerate. But by the end of Bocchi the Rock, you see her go from, I can barely talk with a friend of mine, to, like, perform, and like, playing in a box, and, like, doing her first live performance in a fucking box, to playing out on the stage and, like, in front of all people and doing a solo, which is great character development. But, this isn't just comparing Bocchi the Rock and Watamote, but now, what are other things that are good about Bocchi the Rock? Well, number one is just how fucking creative the um the animators were. This is a pretty lovely ocean. Um, like, and just how it delivers its comedy as well, mixed in with that, like the way the art style just changes, like, on the fly whenever, like, she gets into, like, a really awkward situation. Just, it's so funny. Like it'll go from, like, she'll just be, like, regularly drawn, and then the quality will slowly dip down until she's just a 3D model, and then go flying into a pile of cubes. Like, it's both a funny and creative way of, oh dang, this is really nice. Oh my. It's both a really funny and creative way of representing social anxiety in a way that isn't just making the character do really cringe things. And again, like, it's just random. And there's another one where something happens and suddenly she's like in a giant dinosaur costume destroying a city, right? Or one where, like, she just begins, like, crashing the hell out on the floor. You see, like, the sort of, like, art, like, just rip up, like just like she's just bugging the hell out, and, like, it's just funny. And it's just a really creative way of representing social anxiety, whilst in a way that both makes sense and is funny. You know what I mean? And, it's also pretty cool because you also see, like, how she goes from, socially inept to, like, not as much. And it's also pretty wholesome to see, like, how her friends, Like they just drag her around, like, come on, it's not fun, Seeing as they're also part of the band. Seeing as, they're all a band. Yeah. What else? Hmm. And aside from Bocchi, other characters too, they contribute a lot, like Iyoko Kita being like, the star kind of. Like, being the lead singer, being like the sort of like extroverted one, being like the more extroverted one who like has actual, social skills and stuff. Sort of being like Bocchi's opposite in a way. Um, Also with Rio too, sort of being like the introverted character, not to be confused with socially anxious, but overall, it's just really fucking funny. It's both like funny, wholesome, and just a pretty good story in general. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. I haven't watched the recap yet. I'm planning to watch that when before season two comes out, or once season two is announced, like the official, like when it's officially gonna come out. Yeah. What else? What else do I say about Bush? What other things to say about Bush and Rock? It's like, and it's also pretty chill as well. Like it's like there's not anything. It's not like other anime where it's like the stakes are always high, something's always about to happen. It's just calm and chill. You just watch, you see, oh yeah, there she goes, and and whatever wacky and goofy moments there, you see him like go around doing whatever like goofy ass shit. Sort of like a slice of life in a way. It makes it like a pretty chill show to watch if like if you just want to relax after a day of work or something. Um, yeah, yeah. And I feel like, and I don't want to harp too much on like comparing Watamoto to Bocchi the Rock, but in my opinion, it is like the whole shy girl becoming more social done right. You know what I mean? Where it's not just like this degenerate who keeps, continuously failing at what they're doing because of their social but because of like their social problems. It's this character, progressively becoming more social despite their anxiety, them overcoming it, and it's pretty nice to see, you know what I mean? The message is also pretty good, and the message I think is also up to the interpretation, but at least how I interpreted the message to be, it's like, making friends can help. Okay, okay, maybe not like that. Maybe it's not as like plain as that. I'm not very good at, this whole interpretation thing, but it's like you see how she does way better because she has friends by her side who help her, And aside from just the band members, you know, there are her parents who are also like like everyone around her is very supportive, and it shows how like when you make friends, like how making friends can help you in life. She wants to be more social, so and one way of going about that is through making friends and stuff, even if it's through coincidence. You know what I mean? And yeah, but it is absolute peak in my opinion. It is essentially, and again, like you compare Tomoko and Bocchi, you see a very clear difference in, both mentality and everything. Even though their goals are near identical, right? Tomoko wants to be popular and Bocchi wants to be famous. Even though those are both similarly somewhat hollow and, like similarly goals it'd be really hard for someone with social anxiety to obtain. Their mentality is also what changes this, thing. Yeah. Also, the music is also very good, it being an anime about, rock music and stuff. Like, the songs are pretty fucking good. Much better. Look at that! Dude. Okay, maybe not that much better. I might move again. I don't know if I had like a little addition here, and I'm gonna set up shop here. This is gonna be the base. But yeah. Yeah, like if you like sort of like slice of life chill anime and like funny anime, you'd probably like it. You'd probably like Bocchi the Rock. Again, like its creativity is like nothing I've ever really seen before in like shows or in anime in general, where it's like, and something I've always liked when shows do is when they change the art style. That's always been like, I guess with like anime and like and like, cartoons in general, is when they change the art style. That's just been something I've always really liked seeing, because it just shows how creative, like, the creators are, that they can like sort of see that like they can write their world in a different way. How like they can sort of illustrate, there you go. They illustrate their world in a different way than, you know, most would. That like they can illustrate their art in many different ways where it like still makes sense and is fitting. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this episode. Uh, watch Bocchi the Rock if you want. I'd rate it about maybe like 92%. It's a very fun show to watch, very cool, and yeah, I think that's gonna be all for this episode. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe. I might see you in the next one. Bye.